And for all of us here at NBC, thanks for watching and have a great week.
KUAM TV8, home of the Milan Cortina Olympics. Coverage begins February 6th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
KUAM News Primetime. A new push to reclaim underused public school facilities for community use during a recent education meeting. More coming up tonight.
And the Guam Police Department asking the community's assistance for information relative to Sunday's crash in Tamuning, which claimed the life of a 30-year-old man.
Flyers with United Airlines getting a new and seamless experience at the Guam International Airport today with an upgraded lobby. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with more from the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for starting your week off with us. And right before news time, we can confirm a disturbing discovery in Juatnya this afternoon, as the Guam Fire Department confirms a decomposed body was found behind the Juatnya gym. Now, according to GFD spokesperson Captain Nick Garrido, firefighters were called at 1:19 p.m. after the Guam Police Department requested assistance for what was reported as a decomposed body in the area. Garrido says it's still unclear whether the individual is male or female. When units arrived, they determined that no resuscitation efforts could be made. The scene was immediately turned over to GPD for their investigation. GPD spokesperson Norman Analista confirms the body is of a male found behind the Juatnya gym around 10:36 a.m. There is no further releasable information, and at this time, we will continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as soon as more information becomes available. And shifting now, with recreational options limited in many villages, island mayors are looking to tap into underutilized public school facilities to give residents more access to community spaces. Here's more. Is there a way to put the Guam Department of Education's idle properties back into use? That question coming up during a recent Guam Education Board meeting raised by Juatnya Mayor Brian Terlahi. The mayor asking the board for guidance on how to reclaim underutilized GDOE facilities for community use, including Juatnya's baseball field, half of which he says falls under Emu Lujan Elementary School, and other interests expressed by his colleagues for the vacant JP Torres Success Academy in Santa Rita.
The mayors are trying to see how we can, with the limited amount of recreational facilities we have in our villages, we want to see how we can reclaim some of the facilities under the Department of Education that we see fit to be used in the community.
In response, GEB Chair Angel Sablan saying GDOE's legal team will review the specific requests, also pointing to recent legislation.
Yeah, there is a new law that has been passed as to what GDOE can do with their facilities, whether it's a vacant school, a recreational facilities, or whatever it is that GDOE owns.
Sablan adding that the process is still being worked out as it involves multiple agencies and officials to determine how best to repurpose GDOE-owned properties that are no longer in use. He also addressed the future of another facility, the now decommissioned Chief Brody Elementary School.
Just reminding everybody that this board has already approved that the Chief Brody Elementary School, if it ever becomes anything else, to become middle school for Central. Now, I think the law says that charter schools have priority, but then that's that group or the committee that's going to be put together that they'll make that decision.
In the meantime, an in-person meeting with current GDOE Superintendent Dr. Swanson is in the works to continue the discussion. As visitor arrivals struggle to meet pre-pandemic numbers and as businesses face challenges staying afloat, Guam's tourism industry stakeholders and the island's future hospitality workforce will be gathering for a tourism forum tomorrow. Mitsuki Hirayama has more.
After 2 months planning and preparing, students with the Guam Community College Tourism and Hospitality Program spent their Monday afternoon at a final dry run at the Sandcastle in Tumon. Students like John F. Kennedy High School Junior Sadie Ratuyan and Okudu High School Junior Trisha Gumpal will be going before tourism stakeholders and island leaders to give presentations at the Tourism Roadmap to Recovery Forum on Tuesday.
The presentations for tomorrow will include what is hospitality about, things that we can do to benefit our hospitality industry here on Guam. I feel like a lot of the students here are very passionate and goal-driven, so it should be something that a lot of people can look forward to.
What we're going to talk about is just also like what hospitality is, and then we're also combining like our own like personal styles going with hospitality and like just going over it and like the brief overview.
The forum, hosted by the Guam Travel and Tourism Association and GCC, will bring together industry experts and the next generation of the island's hospitality workforce. Ratuyan is one of the event's moderators, but she says she isn't nervous.
It's really exciting. I love the hospitality industry. There's always something new to learn. There's a lot of things that you can take from it.
These students will be sharing the stage with various leaders like Guam Visitors Bureau President and CEO Regine Biscoli, who will be speaking to the state of tourism recovery.
I will be giving a presentation alongside folks from the airport and GETA, and so we'll be able to participate in that panel, but also hearing from many of our partners in terms of workforce development and what we need to do on the Guam side to make sure that our labor force is ready to receive many more visitors.
The forum comes as the industry looks to reimagine what Guam can deliver as a destination in changing times, as businesses shut down or announce their departure, like DFS, Hard Rock Cafe, and others not in the limelight, while others grow. But these students hope to offer a fresh and positive perspective as future stakeholders in the industry while taking away precious lessons from those who came before them.
Hospitality isn't easy. This industry is very hard. You never know what can happen. There are many positives, but it is not easy at all. There are things that are hard, but the more that we work and the harder that we do work, the better the outcome, and I think that our hard work will pay off and it'll show. In the next couple of years, I think if everyone plays their part and we're all working hard, we'll benefit deeply.
Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority is expanding its outreach this December as hundreds of families in Jigo, Dededo, and villages across the island continue rebuilding from the devastation of Typhoon Mawar. GORA is reminding the public that under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program, eligible homeowners may receive up to $300,000 in financial assistance to repair or fully reconstruct their primary residences. It's part of the $500.8 million Fix and Six initiative, a long-term recovery effort aimed at restoring homes, strengthening communities, and boosting Guam's resilience. Phase 1 focuses on owner-occupied rehabilitation, prioritizing families earning at or below 80% of the area median income, a requirement tied to HUD rules that ensure at least 70% of federal disaster recovery funds support low to moderate income households. That means displaced residents from Dededo and Jigo will be first in line, followed by other LMI households impacted by Mawar. GORA says its ongoing outreach events serve as direct portals for clarity, helping families understand eligibility, documentation, and the next steps forward, finally rebuilding stronger. The agency adds that this dedicated month of outreach is an opportunity for residents to take a step closer to safer roofs, sturdier walls, and a future fortified against the storms ahead. For the list of dates of outreach, head over to KUAM.com. And keeping with GORA, its Board of Commissioners voted unanimously ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday to adopt new Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher payment standards for FY 2026, setting the maximum rent and utility support the authority can provide to voucher holders. The standards are based off the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD's recalculation of fair market rent, which GORA executive noticeable drop.
Fair market rent reduction. Its fair market rent housing cost for Guam has been recalculated for 2026 and has reduced 10% from the prior year's fair market rent.
With rent and utility costs shifting, including a 41% decrease in the Guam Power Authority's fuel recovery charge, officials say payment thresholds are being adjusted to reflect the current market while ensuring access to stable housing. GURA is also expanding assistance for residents with disabilities or under the Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing Program, allowing exemptions of up to 120% of fair market rent.
The exception payment standard schedule is set at not more than 120% of the published FMR.
However, the public won't feel these changes just yet. Section 8 Administrator Nicole Alejandro clarifying that current voucher holders will not see adjustments in 2026, only after their second recertification cycle.
But it doesn't apply on their next certification, it applies on their second certification, so they would not see this effect until 2027.
And the measure passed unanimously. For a full breakdown of the regular payment standards for 2026, visit KUAM on our socials. Well, the Guam Police Department is asking for the community's help tonight as investigators work to piece together what GPD has confirmed as a hit and run. The incident happened early the morning of November 30th along Route 14 by Hornet Sports. Police identified the victim as 30-year-old John Carlos Daniel Haas, the island's 18th traffic fatality this year. His family has been notified. According to GPD officers with the Tumon Precinct Command arrived at around 2:12 a.m. and found the victim lying on the roadway. He was rushed to Guam Memorial Hospital where he was later pronounced dead at 3:45 a.m. Guam Highway Patrol investigators have since taken over the case, which remains open. Now, GPD is urging anyone who witnessed the crash or knows someone who did to contact the Guam Highway Patrol Division through GPD dispatch at 671-475-8615 through 8617. Police extend their condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Haas as the investigation continues. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Calvo Select Care's comprehensive medical provider network offers our members choice and access to quality facilities locally in Asia, Hawaii, and the continental United States. We provide our members several wellness programs and healthy options to improve their overall health status. Calvo Select Care, healthcare that's always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Anything's possible. I push to the limits.
If there's one thing we've learned, it's never to underestimate the spirit and strength of the people of our island home. Which is why at Bank of Hawaii, you, your dreams, and your possibilities will always have a home. Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. The Department of Revenue and Taxation is urging residents to be vigilant after seeing a recent spike in Guam taxpayers receiving unexpected notices from the Internal Revenue Service. According to DRT, these letters claim that individuals either owe federal taxes or failed to file their individual income tax return. But by law, Guam residents only file and pay their individual income taxes locally, not with the IRS. DRT is advising anyone who receives one of these notices to visit the agency's income tax branch in Barrigada for assistance. Staff will verify whether the IRS correspondence is legitimate and issue an official tax filing certification stamped with the department's seal. That certification should then be submitted to the address listed in the IRS notice. Taxpayers must bring a valid ID along with the notice or notices they received, as the certification cannot be processed without them. DRT says it has already contacted the IRS to raise concerns on behalf of Guam residents and will continue providing support as the federal agency works to resolve the issue. For help or more information, residents can call DRT's call center at 635-1840 or 1841 or email incometax@revtax.guam.gov. Well, from the ground to the sky, the travel experience with United Airlines is ramping up with major upgrades to the check-in lobby and its aircraft. Mitsuki Hirayama has more from today's ribbon-cutting ceremony.
With state-of-the-art technology at their fingertips, passengers flying with United Airlines are seen getting a streamlined check-in experience at its Guam hub. The major airline rolled out the new kiosks as part of the upgraded lobby at the AB Wonpat International Airport. The kiosks are 55% faster than its old technology, according to United's Managing Director of Airport Operations in Asia Pacific, Sam Shinohara, who spoke at a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Monday.
If you want to upgrade your economy seat to a United Polaris class seat, you can do that on this kiosk. If you pack too much frozen empanada that you're taking to your friends and family in the Bay Area and need an extra bag, you can take care of that on this kiosk. So there's nothing that you can't do.
As travelers, one of my greatest fear is losing my luggage. One of my greatest fear is missing my flight.
As Governor Lou Leon Guerrero put it, the advanced technology aims to give travelers more confidence by lessening congested lines.
I have not used this one, but I've used some similar to this, and really it is very, very fast.
As part of the investment in customer service, the airline is also replacing its entire Boeing 737-800 fleet with Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft. The first plane is expected to arrive in February of 2026. It comes with not just elevated in-flight experience, but medevac transport capabilities. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio calls United a lifeline.
I saw that these planes are being outfitted so that our patients can be able to fly safely with their families to get that medical care. As we continue to focus on improving healthcare on Guam, we also know that our patients need specialty care. You've provided that lifeline.
And a lifeline for the economy as the Guam hub continues to connect Asia Pacific and serve as a gateway to the United States.
Without United, there will be no tourism recovery.
Thank you for United Airlines, really over 55 years presence here in Guam and the Micronesia. And as a result of that, people are able to travel freely. People are able to visit their relatives. People are able to do business. People are able to improve our economy because of transportation.
Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News. Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view of Laddystone Park in the heart of our capital, Hagåtña.
Haatan papai matonya, hasaw-saw ilago niya, hatoktuk isinturon niya, pues atsikun ilabios niya.
tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce, and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas, and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Well, they got our respect. You know, this is a proven team, and this is the matchup I feel like a lot of people are looking at in this pool between us and the Gilas. So I know for us, we're going to have to be intense. We're going to have to match the physicality that's thrown at us. You know, these are experienced pros at a lot of different high levels. And so for us, it's going to take every play, every possession matters. And it's going to be a 40-minute fight.
Obviously, you know, we've wanted to play the Gilas for a long time, and to be able to finally get them and have them come here on Guam is amazing. Obviously, you know, they're a great team, and we have a lot of respect for them, but that doesn't mean we're going to back down. We're going to obviously give them our best shot and compete to the last minute, and hopefully, you know, that's why you play the game, you know. We'll play our best and compete and see what happens.
You know, we're excited for this opportunity to play Gilas. It's a neighboring country that's always kind of, you know, been the pinnacle of this area. So we're excited to play against them. Excited to rub shoulders with them, to have a good matchup against them. Some key indicators that will be to see how we're doing are the rebounding battle. They're a lot taller and bigger than us. So if we can hold our own on the boards, I think that'll bid well for us as we try to win the game.
Now that we are here, I'm in a completely different role, right? I went from being a teenager to my early 20s, and now I'm pushing my late 20s. And so now I have people that I need to be a role model for. I need to be a vet to these young guys. I need to hold a standard that needs to be set, because this is the highest level that we've ever made it to. And with that, we have to perform that much more.
Looking back at the past 10 years with Guam basketball, being Thanksgiving today, I just feel grateful for the opportunity that I was given to put on the Guam jersey. I know it's something that I don't take lightly. I wear with pride, and I represent the country, the island with pride every single time I put on the jersey. So that's something that I'm grateful for, and I appreciate the opportunity that's been given to me.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
This holiday season, the magic is near. In every aisle, it's crystal clear. From decor that dazzles, to toys that bring joy, to sweet little treats for each girl and boy. Lights that sparkle, gifts from the heart, it all comes together at Kmart.
Tender love and care.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah, we just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic. You're welcome.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, and the Guam Army National Guard. Live here, serve here.
I love shirts. All right, you guys know this. And look at this Hope Camp shirt. This is from the Hope Camp Hold On Pain Ends, which was held over the weekend. Absolutely amazing, amazing experience to teach young people how to play better, how to be mentally strong, how to take care of each other, and how to prevent suicide on our island community. Thank you guys for putting that one on. All right, from game time. Holiday High Market is coming up, everybody. The holidays are upon us in full swing. Giving Tuesday is tomorrow. And what's going on at the High Market? This is on the 2nd from 5 to 9 over at the Hyatt. Artisans, producers, food, a whole bunch of people that want to get you eating healthy and eating delicious, so we can't wait to swing by that. Also going on is going to be the Neni Christmas Market. This is on December 6th over at the Micronesia Mall, and it is from the kids from Nenpire. They've been working really, really hard on their pitches, their product ideas. These are young craftsmen and women and artisans, speaking of artisans, and they are going to absolutely thrill you, and they want you to be their customer. Soja is returning, everybody. I cannot wait for this. It must be the holiday season, because when you have soja over at Leopas is in Jonia, by the way, right? On the 17th of January, or you can say military style, like on the poster, 17 January, soja coming back. And your NBA Game of the Week on Wednesday, right? Spend Giving Tuesday with us, and then the day after, watch really good basketball. There's 2 of them, in fact, right? 11 a.m., the Knicks and the Celtics, Northeastern. Those guys are going at it. And then at 2 p.m., on the West Coast, we have the defending champion OKC Thunder at the Golden State Warriors. All right, not to be missed. All right, here's your birthdays for today.
On the day before Giving Tuesday, we want to say happy birthday number 5 to Mariana Marie Salas. And even though your birthday is tomorrow in California, your Guam family sends you love and hugs today here on the island. And this is a great picture, by the way. We love turtles here on Guam. And Mariana, we wish you a happy 5th birthday. And happy birthday and welcome home to KUAM Kid Forever, Reese Monge, who we have known since she was a little girl, and she has turned into a wonderful, wonderful. So Reese, welcome home. We're happy to have you here for the holidays, and happiest of birthdays from all of us at your KUAM family. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your Primetime Show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Well, it's another month of a lot of issues for veterans yet to talk about.
Oh, yes.
So much has happened. First, the last time we talked about the bill that was introduced and the hearing.
That's correct.
And then the week later, or maybe even a few days later, the OPA report was submitted. Mm-hmm. So that is OPA report 25-11. It doesn't exactly say what day in October. It just says October 2025.
I think it came out the day after the public hearing.
Right.
Yes.
It did. So some of the things that came out of it. I mean, there's a lot of issues that were mentioned in the report. The report is 44 pages long.
Yes.
It's 44? 60. I'm not sure how many pages are long. But I know there's a few attachments to it. But let me just touch on the big things. Okay. Insufficient staffing to process VA claims. Mm-hmm. It's insufficient staffing to maintain the Guam Veterans Registry, insufficient staffing for cemetery operations, and inadequate office space, and deficiencies in data management and information security. And then other matters, which was during the course of their research and the audit, the bill was introduced to have the director, the commission, have the director be when they so currently the director is appointed by the governor, but there is law that says it should be a classified position, but the audit also says there should be some more study to find out what it is for the stakeholders.
Mhm.
So those were the findings.
Not very many things there to do, is there?
It's a lot to do.
Well, and you know, before we really just dive into this, you know, let's just really say that, you know, there are a lot of fine, good intentioned folks that are really trying to do the best that they can, right? And unfortunately, right, we're in a position that, you know, when we look at these things need to get done, right? When we say they need to get done, right, we can't keep expecting that, you know, our veterans are going to be asking for more, and we don't even have the foundation laid for this, right? And you know, these issues are long-standing, which means this just didn't happen yesterday. This didn't happen last year or 5 years ago when we came on the scene with veterans. This has been going on for a long time. And, you know, unfortunately, those that are there kind of inherited the fact that, hey, you know, you are the person at the moment sitting there as the director. And when all these arrows are getting shot at you, right, it's not you personally, right? But regardless, you're there for a reason. And if you sat there and you decided to take that position, right, you probably may want to look at the things that are in need of work. You probably need to maybe devise a plan, you know, look for solutions and find out what the best solution might be. All along the way, it's important to communicate this. If you're doing these things or trying to do good things, and I'm sure he's doing a lot of great things, right? He's doing the best that he can. But if the best that you can is not getting us to where we're supposed to be, right, then he's going to need to ask for more reinforcements, right? And that should have been done since day one, right? And when I say day one, right, the good director has been there. This will be his second time down there, albeit different administrations, right? And yet still, right, that's the idea of what we need to talk about, right, is where do we go from here? Why these things are the way they are, right? So again, right, when we talk about these things, we're talking about them in a way, shape, fashion, form, so that what we're doing is bringing up the fact that a lot of things need to get done. Now, what I'd like to say too is that I know that when we had gotten together with like Eddie Regis and some of the other folks, right, we put together something to try to assist them. We presented this to the governor and lieutenant governor. We presented it to the last legislature, and we've been asking, how can we help? What can we do as a nonprofit to get out there and help? And if the folks that are out there are asking to provide you some help and assistance, and we're really ignoring, and maybe not ignoring, maybe there's rules and guidelines that he probably needs to express to the people that are offering him help. And maybe the folks that he's currently got that he's allowed to help him, right? Maybe this is a good time for us to measure them and say, hey, the folks that you're providing you guidance or help are probably, you know, in need of more help, right? So, you know, you can ask somebody for help, but what if the things that they're doing is not adequate, right? Then we need more help. So that's something that maybe we got to consider as well.
Sometimes parenting can be hard. What should I be doing? The Guam Early Learning Council includes partners who can provide you with early childhood services and supports. We are here to assist. For resources and information, simply call 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., excluding holidays. Early connection can change everything.
What's coming up this week? Is it this week or next week? The hearing.
Oh yeah, so that's the oversight hearing is what they call it, right?
Oversight hearing that Senator Sabrina Salas-Mantanani is going to have because of the OP report.
Yes, and so, gosh, I really want to just control myself and not, just go at it, right? And we can't, right? Because we all have to work together, and that's easier said than it is done. And there's a lot of folks out there that will say anything about trying to work together, but saying something and doing something are two totally different things. So when we say we want to help, right, we've submitted paperwork. We've actually gone there. We've spoken to the director. We've spoken to the governor. We've spoken to people in the legislature. So if you're asking, well, have you gone there to do something? Yes, we have. Have you submitted paperwork? Yes, we have. So in that regard, that's something that we've done. Now, I think a little bit about some history, right? The last committee chair, and I just spoke to him last week, latter part of last week, Senator Dwayne St. right? So I was telling him, I said, hey, I hope you don't mind if I continue to tell people that when you were the committee chair, when you were in the legislature, that you opened up your office for us. He goes, oh no, that's fine. That's what I'm there for. And the reason that's very important is because at the time when he did that, right, contrary to what some people are saying in the legislature when they go out and say, hey, the commission has been running for a long time, that actually is not true. The commission has not been running properly. When we went to the good senator's office, we went there and we kind of got together this task force, the Guam Veterans Task Force. We got together because the talk about not being able to have a commission meeting was something that was important. Regardless of whether we felt there was no teeth, right? We needed to keep that running as well as provide for how do we get them to run. We even offered, let us pay for the ad. So, when people start talking about, hey, we had to, we've been running the commission, no, it has not. Stop telling the people, things that are not true. There was a time when the commission was not running, and they were not running because they couldn't put an ad together. We went and started talking about, let's find a way to get this ads going. And by putting those ads together, they were finding out how to get those ads on the paper. We found out that we couldn't do it. But a lot of misinformation still going around. So when they talk about, is somebody doing something? We are. The Guam Veterans Task Force got together to put the commission where it's at today. And I want to also say, Tom Atta was a big help in this, to include the rest of the folks that are in there. There are fine folks that are on this island that are contributing behind the scenes. All the while, some folks are out there touting their being the ones that are putting these things together, and that's not necessarily true. We have folks to the tune of General Benny Polino that has been on that task force. Tom Atta, Eddie Regis, Bob Kelly, Rob Jackson, Charlie Hermosa, a bunch of veterans. And they're coming together because they feel that, hey, there's a need for us to do this. And Johnny Atula, I have to say his name because if I don't, he's going to be upset. So Uncle Johnny was also there. And I don't know if there's something you wanted to add to that before we keep going, because I'll keep going on this, and so maybe I will since you're going to allow me to go. So that all leads up to where we're at today. We've been constantly looking at the issues that needed to be taken care of, supporting the commission. Now, why that's important is Tom Atta, when he met with us, we talked about the commission not having teeth. What that meant was the law did not allow for the commission to tell the director what the organizations want the director to do. So we got together, and Tom Atta, who's very knowledgeable about this, started putting these things together, amendments to change the things that are in the existing bill. And this was done during Dwayne St. Nicholas's time. When we left there, we already had that groundwork, framework put together. What should we change? What are things that, could be adjusted to meet the current times? So that work was already done. It was already done. So when we first had the good Senator Salas Montanani come to the task force meeting, I was sitting there when we tried to advise her that, hey, there's, amendments that probably are put together. And this is something that, based on experience, the good Senator, Tom Atta, said, we have to piecemeal this. The way the system works at the legislature is you cannot just send them everything, because it's almost like a shock when you send them, hey, you need to do all these things. What about this and that and this and the other? How do we get all these things lined up? How do we get this through, right? And if you're sending them something very comprehensive, it's going to be difficult for them to really arrive at, hey, how do we get this done? It's almost like it's information overload and the system can't handle it. So that was kind of the advice that he gave at the time. And I know the senator came out with something really comprehensive herself, right? And we tried to push that out. So all of these, the folks in the commission and the folks that were put there are trying to say, oh, we don't like this, we like this. And all of a sudden they said, well, we're going to create a working group. Problem with that working group is, how do you get a working group together in a commission, in a public meeting, without putting that on the agenda, without talking about, hey, we need a working group to take care of these things.
Oh, they don't care about the agenda. They'll just talk about what they want. But then when someone else wants to say something, they give them 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, and to your point, right, there's the list of organizations that are on the upcoming event, right? And there's quite a few organizations that are on there. And what's interesting is, this is not to say that these organizations are not good organizations, right? But they're placed on a listing, on a government listing for a government event, and some of these organizations are not in operation anymore.
Not according to the revenue tax listing of nonprofit organizations that are active, right?
Which is quite interesting, because how do we arrive at a list and say, hey, here's a list of organizations? There's an organization on there called HMI. They're on that organization. Why are they on that listing? Are they truly an organization? Because if they are, they're not on the commission. And
well, they don't want us to join the commission. They're scared of what we are and what we do. So.
Well, I'm not sure that that's necessarily where we want this conversation to go.
Why not?
However, what we want to talk about are all the little things that are adding up to where we need to be with what we're doing. And this is where coming together is very important. And we need a special person to do this. I'm not saying that, the folks that are there are or aren't the right people to be there. But if you start looking at, not so much what people are saying, but what they're doing, then you're going to really take a look at, are these people truly bringing our veterans and our veterans organizations together? And if the answer is no, then maybe we need to work on that. How do we get somebody there that's able to bring everyone together? And I'm sorry, you can't pick and choose, right? You don't get to do that when you're sitting here saying, hey, all of our organizations and all of our veterans need help. If you look at the report, that report tells us we got nowhere else to go but up. So we got so many issues and challenges through the OPA report. What is it that we really need to do with that?
Change. Make change.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And when you talk about that, right? So let's take a look at what you just said. Make some changes, right? Yep. How and to who, and do we need to change people out, or what is it that we need to do?
I think so.
Now there's laws, right? There's laws that talk about if you're sitting in a position, you're holding this position, right? If you're not doing your job, there could be sanctions for you if you don't do that job.
Resign.
Some folks, when they feel that they're doing the best that they can, feel that meets the threshold. Now, the people that will determine whether you meet the threshold or not are potentially going to be your veterans.
They're not doing a good job, and one veteran not assisted is one too many. Because their job is very important. They're changing lives. They're supposed to know their job. They're not supposed to send a veteran away when the veteran asks for help. They're also supposed to know the law and keep up with the law in 2025, and they are not.
And recently, just at the very last commission meeting, there was mention of the VFW having 2 VSOs. That information is old. There are no VSOs at the VFW. And more importantly, right, what is the VFW saying about that? Right? It's because if you are a VSO, right, your job is to be informing all the veterans of all the issues and policies and procedures and things that are going on. If you want to be a VSO, you have to know what you're doing. You have to keep up. You have to be down there finding out what the veterans want and need. You cannot be just, you pick somebody and you pick some. No, these folks need to know what they're doing. If you have not looked at the way claims are done, if you have never filed your claim, if you've never seen the process or taken the time to follow a veteran through their process, we got issues with how you are truly going to say you're a VSO when they report who they're helping. I know that on the commission meeting, they said, we want these VSOs to help our people, right? Our veterans on the island. I know that the VFW VSOs are helping people outside of Guam, and they are counting that they are helping these people in the Guam meeting. Now, again, this is not a problem when it comes to saying, hey, are you doing VSO work? But the challenge comes when you're a VSO and you're here on Guam and you need help. The OPA report tells you veterans here need help. Why is it that it's so important for you to go outside of Guam to help people? Because it's your region? Because they require help? Well, what about the people here? They require help. So there's issues about how these things work that, maybe we need to try to learn a little bit more, right? Try to find out more about what these things are really talking about. So anyway.
Can we move to registry? So insufficient staffing to process VA claims, that's important because, of course, we don't know the true number of how many veterans we have here. But processing a veteran claim, that's a lot more than I can only see 2 veterans once a day, and then the appointments are months out. Because when a veteran files their claim, they get letters that say you have 2 weeks to respond, you have 7 days to respond, you have 30 days to respond. And that's important, especially if maybe a veteran might miss their exam. When they miss their exam, they don't know what to do or where to go, especially those that are not informed of the process. So that's insufficient staffing. I'm not sure how many VSOs are down there now. I think only 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 down there. I'm not sure.
Well, but they didn't bring that up at the commission meeting either.
No, because they only want to talk about what they're going to do in 2026, not what they're going to do now.
Well, and again, right, that's why that information is important. If you are part of the commission, your job is to get the information together and disseminate it. If you don't want to disseminate the information, send it to the director and tell him to disseminate it. But in both of these areas, we have a difficult time accessing information. Information doesn't flow downward. No. Information staying up here in a place where the people that are up here are sharing that with themselves, and
that's good enough for them.
In their mind's eye.
Yeah, that's what they think. It's good enough. So, insufficient staffing to maintain the Guam Veterans Registry. So this OPA report was from 2018 to 2025. So from 28, so their registry went from 2017 to today. They've only registered 2,197 veterans.
And so let's talk about the registry a little bit. So in the existing law, the Speaker of the legislature, last legislature, it was Therese Terlahi. This current legislature, it's Frank Bloss Jr. So when we talk about that, there should be reports going to them. Now, you know, I would ask that the speaker tell us if that report has been submitted. And if it has not, it would be a good idea for him to just mention that. You know, hey, I did not get a report. You see what I mean? We're good at telling people your job is to do this, you got to do that. But then when the follow-up of, hey, where's this report? And that's a very crucial report, and it's important because that report tells us the number of veterans here that need services, that are required to get services, and potentially what kind of services we're going to be receiving from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So that number is important. On top of that, through the task force and HMI, we got the governor to proclaim this year as Year of the Veteran Count and Veteran Registry. And that's in line with something that needs to be going on. This is an easy way for the commission to jump on board and get a count from all these people. On air and tell you, hey, go do this, right? You should already know that you should be doing this. The last time they testified at the legislature, right? That was right before this OPA report came out. I'm interested to learn that when those commission members went down there talking about the bill and how they supported the bill, I want to know what type of research they were doing, because they were doing this research as a working group through a government entity, right? And when they did that working group, why weren't they able to get things out of the OPA report? How do you go down in front of the legislature supporting something where you don't even have background? You don't even know what's going on. You didn't even go check the OPA report. I want to know who they interviewed as veterans. I've not seen a report. They've not done a survey of the veterans on the ground to find out what these veterans want.
Which goes back to them sharing information with themselves is good enough. It's not, because you're not asking veterans, what do you need, what do you want, what's going on with your health care, with your benefits, and that's important, because how are you going to make change when you don't even know?
And to add to that, right, so I don't think we're going to get all of this out in one sitting. And for the last 2-3 airings on the podcast and on the radio show, we've been trying to really get this all out, and I don't think we're going to be hitting that all in one sitting. Now, talking about the OPA report, talking about the bills that need to get passed and things that need to happen, right? There's room for all kinds of work to get done. So that's something that we maybe need to start paying attention to and really getting out there and doing some work, right? And however that might be, you know, we do it like we do it here on our island, right? We what we do is we go to, for example, in the village, if somebody's having a party, even more than that, right? During my time when they're having a party, we all get together as teenagers and we say, hey, let's go see who's having a party, and we go help. We might not be invited to the party. After we help, they call us to the party, right? Now, in the old days, when somebody was building a home, the village would get together and go participate in helping them to build their home. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably something that we need to start working on again, right? Is, you know, really coming together and really get boots on the ground. You know, stop sitting on a chair trying to tell people, hey, this is what to do. Get down on the ground, meet the veterans, talk to them. You'd be surprised at what they're going to tell you. And you know, the things that we're doing, right? Like, I think we have an event coming up that you want to talk about.
Right. So the nonprofit organization, which we're a part of, HMI, Ihanana Imagahit Zani Anina, this weekend we're having our 4th annual 5K.
Yes.
And so this thing is heavy. I don't know if I can carry this. I'm just going to push it over. This is the Perpetual Cup. So this is for all the military branches, Guard and Reserve, to compete for.
Yes.
And this is, so the ones that hold it today is the 1st Battalion, 294th Infantry Regiment, Guam Army National Guard.
Chamorro.
Chamorro?
Yes.
So they got this. They won it last year. So I said, hey, are you guys going to defend it? He goes, yeah. So when I asked to you know, get this, to take it around, he goes, you can borrow it. So they've already registered their team. So
yes.
So Guard, Reserve, Army, Air, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and then the Marine Corps come out and compete for this.
They're not going to. They can't.
They will.
No, they won't. They can't be the Army Guard. These folks that are what organizations are you saying? Air Guard? Who else? Coast Guard? Are those real branches? Because if they are, we should see them at this 5K. And by the time this airs, we would have already had the winner of this. But we won't get to announce it until the next podcast.
And this is Ifitwood. This thing is so heavy.
So it shows that you have to be strong to win, right?
Yes, yes. And this is on the back we have the
Code of Conduct for the United States Armed Forces. Right. Wait a minute. So that's for the United States Armed Forces. Does that include